Everybody, it's JetsCentral coming back with another video, and in this one I wanted to recap today's game between the New York Jets at the Chicago Bears. Okay, and the Bears were victorious, final score 24-10. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys, this game was absolutely brutal. It was a really hard watch. Okay, I just felt like there was just no sense of urgency from the Jets standpoint. The offensive game plan going in was just bad. The play calling was bad. The penalties, that's another category where we lost. I believe we had another game with 8 penalties. It's just tough. It's tough to sit here and watch games like this. It just really is. We were banged up going into the game. Trumaine Johnson didn't play. Guys like Robbie Anderson didn't play. Obviously, Bilal Powell, he's dealing with the whole neck injury. Quincy Enunwa is another guy who didn't play, so the Jets were definitely down a few men, okay, to say the least. Pretty much. I mean, when you look at the wide receiving core that played for the Jets today, it was just a ton of new faces. Guys like Deontay Burnett, guys like Rashard Matthews. You could just tell that this wide receiving core, I mean, hell, Tony Romo was on the call today. He was saying it throughout the game. The guys just could not get open. You mix that with playing in a hostile environment in Chicago, you take into consideration that this New York Jets team does not really play that well, away from MetLife Stadium, and then when you can't get the run game going either, it's just a recipe for disaster. And I'm not taking anything away from Chicago's defense, but they, Khalil Mack didn't play, and neither did Allen Robinson. Okay, arguably they're two best players on this team. So I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses for this Jets team, like, injuries are the reason why we lost. No, it played a big part in it, in the Jets losing, but at the end of the day, there was still a whole bunch of factors why the Jets lost this game. Moving on to Sam Darnold, I thought he looked okay. He did impress me, in some throws here and there, just maneuvering in the pocket. But like I was just alluding to before, Tony Romo said it best when he said these guys cannot get open. Yes, he does have experience with Deontay Burnett, obviously playing back in the at the USC days, and then Rashard Matthews is a guy who's had some success, but he was signed this week. Okay, so they don't have chemistry. Jermaine Kearse had a few nice grabs here and there, but for the most part, just could not utilize the tight end. Chris Herndon, he had that one really nice that touchdown grab, I believe, but other than that, they just could not get the tight ends involved. The wide receivers couldn't get open, and it was just a tough day for this Jets offense, okay? Offensive line, I thought, looked poor. Just bad stuff, and, it was just hard to watch, and I apologize, okay? I apologize to the Jets fans out there that watch this game, that spend their Sundays watching this game, and, because I know the feeling. I know it's tough to sit here and just watch an offense just continue just to slam their head in the wall. And I get it. They're young. They're injured. They're banged up. And even if everybody was healthy, it's not like we're not the LA Rams. We're not the Kansas City Chiefs offense by any means. So I do understand that. I understand that we are a young team that's still going in the, we're going in the right direction. We're building for the future here. But, as far as today goes, just looking at today's game, it was hard to watch. Okay. It was hard to watch, at least on offense. Okay. And then just another thing, I know I touched on it too before, but the running game, we could not get the running game going. And like the wide receiving core, the running back position is banged up as well. Bilal Powell did not play, so we just had Isaiah Crowell back there, a little bit of Trenton Cannon, who is, he's a shifty guy. I would, if I was the New York Jets coaching staff, I would consider taking Trenton Cannon, playing him maybe at slot wide receiver and just trying to get this guy the football in the flat. Kind of, he reminds me of Dre Archer out of Kent State a few years back. The Pittsburgh Steelers drafted him, I believe, 3rd round, and he was a guy who I loved at Kent State. Obviously had a great 40-yard dash time, but the Steelers were able to find out or figure out ways to utilize him and get him involved in the game plan. He didn't have the best hands. He wasn't really like a downhill runner. He was super small, but he was super quick in open field, and just, he had breakaway speed, very similar to Trenton Cannon. So I would take a look at some of that film. I believe like back in 2015, 2016, that's when Archer was being utilized correctly with Pittsburgh. But in any case, I would look at Trenton Cannon. I would try to get this guy the football out of the backfield, use him in the passing game a little bit more. So yeah, just tough on this New York Jets offense for sure. It's one of those games where you're just sitting there and you're just kind of like watching but you're not really getting like too hyped up for the first downs and stuff, just because it's almost, there's almost that feel to it where every time we get a first down, it's almost like we caught a break, and I don't like that feeling. I don't like it at all. I just don't feel like we're in attack mode ever. It almost feels like we're playing not to lose games. We're playing in defense mode, even if we're winning, even if we're losing, or if we're tied. It's just we're never, our foot's never on the gas pedal, right? We don't have the killer instinct, and I get it. Like I said, we're young, we're building, but it's just not there. Just the killer instinct is not there, and it's just really frustrating to watch. But let me segue to this. Let me segue to the defense, which I thought did a pretty nice job today, all things considered. When I say all things considered, I'm talking about how this offense just continued to go 3 and out and 3 and out and 3 and out. I believe they had 5 3 and outs in the day. I mean, that's unacceptable to say the least, but, switching it back over to the defense, considering that this defense was on the field for such a long time and having to account for guys like, Tariq Cohen and Jordan Howard, the Bears do have playmakers, Trey Burton, Ant Miller, rookie out of Memphis, wide receiver, and then Mitchell Trubisky, who's a guy who, and we talked about this in the preview video as well, being able to keep Mitch Trubisky in the pocket. We did not do that today. Mitch Trubisky escaped multiple times, and he was able to pick up first downs, extend drives, and extend plays, at the end of the day. And that's why I felt like that was the main negative I saw from this defense today, was just not being able to keep Trubisky inside the pocket and really force him to go to his second and third option. When his first guy wasn't there, he would just take off and run. He had so much open grass in front of him, and he was just able to pick up first downs, which was, something, like I said, we talked about that in the preview video. We had to keep this guy contained. We couldn't let this guy set the edge, get outside, because he was making plays for days. Okay, keeping it on the read option. When the plays would break down, he had so many open running lanes just to move forward and extend plays. But other than Trubisky running, I don't necessarily, and I know it sounds weird because we lost 24-10, but I don't think this defense played that bad. Okay, considering Trumaine Johnson was hurt, considering they're on the field for a long time. I mean, yeah, we didn't get any pressure on Trubisky at all. I don't even know if we had a sack on him. But overall, I thought the Jets defense had a bend but don't break mentality. And that's really what they displayed to us today. So I don't want to say I was impressed with the defense, because at the end of the day, we did give up 24, should have been 27 because the Bears missed that early field goal. But I gotta say, when I take a step back, when I go to bed tonight, I'm rethinking the game, I'm gonna be pretty I'm satisfied with today's defense. I think if the offense can just hold up their end of the bargain, if they could put up points, if they can move the ball, if they can not turn the ball over, I'm actually surprised we didn't turn the ball over today. So I am glad about that. That is a building block for Sam, not turning the ball over on the road against a very good defense. Granted, Khalil Mack didn't play, but you guys know what I'm saying. But anyway, looking at this defense, I don't want to say I'm impressed with it, but I'm content. I'm satisfied with today's effort because, like I said, if this offense can hold up their end of the bargain, if they could come to the ballpark ready to play, if they could pick up first downs, put up points on the board, whether it's 7, whether it's 3, just stringing along points. I think this defense is in a pretty good shape, and if the offense plays well, the team will be in good shape. But it was just one of those. It's just a classic case of the Chicago Bears. They're a better team. They're a better coached team, or at least they were today. So Matt Nagy, he did his thing out there. I liked his play calls, but I one thing, and I don't want it to seem like I'm hating on Chicago, because I do like Chicago. A good buddy of mine, Josh from the Sports Fury, over on YouTube. Go check those guys out. He's a diehard Bears fan. I like the Bears. I root for them and stuff like that. But I will say, from the Bears' standpoint, I thought they played a little sloppy. I felt as though the Jets, with how the Jets' offense looked, just completely anemic, it was just atrocious. I felt as though the Bears, thinking back on what they did, I thought they did a really nice job against New England. They destroyed Tampa Bay. They should have beat Green Bay if Fuller would have, hung on that interception. This Bears team is very, very talented, and considering what the Jets showed on offense today, I thought the Bears were going to capitalize on that and really put up a lot of points, but it just didn't really happen like that. So I guess you could kind of credit that to the Jets defense, but who knows? Maybe that's just me being a Jet fan. But anyway, I want to tip my cap to the Bears fans out there, to the Bears team out there for the impressive win. And 3-5, 3-5 on the year. It's going to be tough. We got Miami next week in Miami, divisional rivalry game. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes because Miami's coming off a loss as well. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section about this game from a Jets perspective, from a Bears perspective, and yeah. So and again, before I end the video, I just want to apologize for today's game. You know, because these games are tough to watch when the offense just cannot move the ball every little yard. It just seems like you're trying so hard to move the ball a yard. It's just hard. Okay, so I apologize. So thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Jets.